Speed was something we needed to address this offseason, especially in the receiver room. We felt like the direction we were moving in offensively was going to require guys that can really stretch the football field, something we failed to do last year. And I think a lot had to do with the personnel that we've had. So went into the portal, focused on guys that can run, guys with experience. And so, obviously being able to bring the group that we brought in, Chris Hudson and Javon Wadley, Luke Wysong, Trey Spivey, guys that, have some playing experience, but also, have speed and the ability to be able to turn it on and off when necessary.
And what are your early impressions of the newcomers?
Day two, I'm happy. I'm happy, far from satisfied. I think our standard's really high. Appreciate Coach Daggy and, the direction he wants to go in and, the identity that he wants to have as an offense. The standard's really high. So, day two, it's hard to, say, we're there and, or even say we're not there. But I think we're moving in the right direction. Today felt good. We've been able to throw the ball down the field a couple times, and guys are doing a good job in responding to the retention of the offense and it being so very new, and then being able to come out and apply what they're learning in the classroom. So I'm very pleased with that part.
In terms of you talk about bringing in veteran guys with talent like that and having a quarterback like Noah Fadil, as you guys are trying to learn and develop in this new offense, how much does that help, just having guys that have been around football for so long?
Yeah, that really helps the learning curve. Allows them to understand, they've had to play in multiple offenses before, so they were able to, learn and then obviously, wipe off what they've already learned and then relearn other things. So, they understand the process and they understand it's going to take time, so they don't get frustrated. And, but they also have a very high energy, a very positive energy, which I truly appreciate as a coach, because it's definitely a reflection of how I go about it as well. This is the fifth offense in 5 years that I've been in college football that I've learned. So, it's very refreshing to have a veteran group of guys that are excited about it and, are really approaching it with a focus and, a demeanor to get better, and understanding that they're not going to be perfect right away, but the end result is what we're focused on.
Justin.
So from the time you started coaching him to now, in what ways has Chris Hunter gotten better as a receiver, and what did you make of just kind of the second half of last year?
Chris has really been, he's probably one of my favorite guys, because he's very coachable, and he's really taken on the challenge of understanding where he started in the depth chart. And I believe I told you guys a story before, but Chris was committed to me at, Arizona State when he was first coming out of high school as a walk-on. Then when Arizona gave him the offer here, I was very excited about that opportunity for him to come here and play on scholarship. And then, it was full circle for me to get back here and have an opportunity to coach him. So I was already well aware of Chris's talents coming out of high school. It was just a matter of trying to get him in the mind space of understanding that he's capable and give him the confidence that he needed to be able to play at a high level. It takes time, and you got to have a plan for these kids. And he really trusted the plan that I put forward for him, and really came to work every single day, regardless of where he was in the depth chart. And I thought I thought it was a perfect timing for him to be able to come in and make the plays late in the year like he did for us. With that said, Chris also understands that he needs to continue to get better.
Yeah.
The development continues to grow for him. He still needs to come now in a leadership role. And so I put a lot on him as far as having expectations for him and him really pushing the room and what to expect, from me and my coaching style. So I'm very pleased with Chris. I'm excited for what he's going to be able to do within this offense. I think it's going to really match up to his abilities and his skills. Really looking forward to seeing how he plays this year.
And then after losing a guy like T-Mac, have you seen him start to maybe embrace kind of that wide receiver one role a little bit?
Absolutely. And I think it's, he understands the collective is going to be really important. The fact that, Chris came on late in the year, he understood that if T would have had a true number 2 last year, things would have been much different when it came to game planning. And, and Chris fell into that role late. It would have been great to have him early. So he understands the the need for the collective group to be good. And so he is definitely taking it upon himself to push the group, communicate clearly with the group, expectations, standards, and then also lead by example.
You guys were obviously headlined by T-Mac last year and having that true number one threat in a room like that. How is it losing a player like that and having the rest of the room with a lot of new faces as well kind of take on that role? Not the role, but how challenging is that to kind of fill those shoes?
Impossible to fill those shoes. I'm going to be very clear about that. And T-Mac is by far one of the best players that I ever coached and probably ever will as an individual. With that said, the collective group will be better than we were last year. And I think everybody's well aware of that. I will also say there's kids in this group that can be as productive as T-Mac was. There's guys that have the skill set, the speed, the football IQ, the will, the want to win, the highly competitive edge. And I really feel like there's a few guys, maybe 3 or 4 guys that can emerge and really being a top producer within this offense. I will also say that this offense is built to have a few different guys that can, get over 1,000 yards and be highly productive. So everybody's going to have a fair shot at it. The guys that really take it personal and really become a pro within this offense are going to be the ones that emerge.
Not only did you guys add players in terms of the transfer portal, but you have Isaiah that came in with the recruiting class, and you guys were able to hold on to him and get him to sign. Just talk about his talent and kind of the recruitment and what went into that for you guys.
Yeah, Isaiah is a very unique talent as well. He's absolutely elite when it comes to his ability to run vertical. His speed is, unmatched for high school kids from last year. He's clearly plays at a high speed as well. You get track kids like that a lot that run fast track times. Sometimes it doesn't translate to the football field. Watching the way Isaiah moves, it absolutely translates. I'm excited to have him. I'm very pleased with where he's at right now. Obviously, he's going to need some development. That's my job as a coach to make sure I find those weaknesses and continue to push him to be great. And so he's done a great job with accepting the coaching. The process of the recruitment is just like any other kid, I think. At this day and age, the relationship is extremely important. These kids all want to play for somebody that they can trust, somebody that's telling them the truth, and, have a real opportunity to be able to play. I expect big things from him this year. I think he's also understanding that this group is strong, and that's going to help him get a lot better very quick. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he emerges as a player in his freshman year.
Justin? So I don't know if you saw this video clip of Steve Smith Sr. talking about T-Mac and how he doesn't have an elaborate route tree. If you've seen that, what are your thoughts on that? And just what are your thoughts on T-Mac on the NFL?
I'm going to be careful here. I love Steve Smith. He's one of my favorite receivers watching him play. I just don't think he's watched enough film on T-Mac, and that's just the truth about it. Obviously, I think if he was in my shoes and had coached the kids last year, he would be saying something very, very different. And so it's fair for him. He's in the media. That's not his job to be able to coach the kid. It's not his job to coach him up. That was my job last year. But, I would tell him to watch more film, to be able to really digest it. But T-Mac's ability is going to translate quickly to the NFL. There's no doubt about it. He's a great route runner. I think he's very coachable. And then obviously the God-given talent is unmatched. The ability to be able to play the ball off his feet and create separation. And then what he put on film last year to be able to run with the football in his hand, I think is really unique at that size. And then he was by far faster than what people thought he was. I get the unique opportunity to be able to talk to him, so much throughout the week. And so I know what his training process is. I know how fast he's been running as he's been working out. And, I'm really proud of him and how he's really been working this offseason.
And then what has it been like for you to see him go through the draft process, go to the combine, and have that private workout here earlier this week?
It means a lot, man. You pretty much, I inherited this child, so it's, but we got close so quick that, I understand what he really wants to do and where he really wants to go. I think he's really figuring out that he loves the game of football, a lot like I did at that age. Guys that are really athletic early and they experience a lot of success, if they're not born to be football junkies, they just love to play sports, period. So, you know, he's very competitive. He'll be competitive in anything he does. But I think this process right now and him training is really making him fall in love with football. And it's also becoming a new challenge for him. And elite athletes consistently need constant challenge. And so right now he feels the challenge. That was his, you know, opportunity on Monday. I think that's why he ran a 40 after working out all week. You know, he didn't peak to run the 40. You know, he was working all last week. And so a lot of guys that go to the combine, everything is set for the 40, period. T-Mac has been running routes. We ran routes on Sunday before he ran on Monday. And so for him to come out in front of 27 teams and, you know, put the cleats on and run what he ran, you know, I'm extremely proud of him.
Last question, Jeff.
And then new offensive coordinator, Seth Dickey. What has it been like working with him, and what's different about maybe some of the concepts and routes that you guys are doing this year?
Man, I love Coach Dickey. I think he's right on time. He has direction. You know, he knows what this offense needs to look like. He knows what he wants it to look like. He's not afraid to push players. He's very clear with his direction, not only for the players, but for the coaches as well. And he brings the energy that is contagious. You know, we all want to be a part of that. I think every competitive person that's played the game wants that type of energy every single day. He is who he is. It's not a show. It's not for the cameras. It's not for anybody else. And then he has a unique ability to be able to relate to the players as well. So we're all looking forward to working with him. I love, you know, for being a former Wildcat, he's 100% the right guy for the job. So I'm excited to work with him and looking forward to having a great year.
All right, that's our time.